Welcome back to the channel. Right here we have some brand new wireless earbuds with active noise cancellation. These are the BOSE Quiet Comforts, and these are especially exciting because for quite a few years now, BOSE has been making one of the best pairs of active noise canceling headphones. So for example, just go on any plane ever. If you're flying somewhere and you sit down on a jet and you look around, I can almost guarantee that you'll see at least a couple people on the plane wearing BOSE over-ear headphones because honestly, they've had some of the best active noise cancellation. And so now that they're bringing it down to a pair of earbuds here, I'm really excited to test this out for you guys in this video and show you just how good or bad these earbuds actually are. Now, I've been using these earbuds for probably about 2 weeks now, and we have a lot to talk about. I found some really good things as well as some not so good things I want to talk about in this video. But let's start off with the physical design of these earbuds. Now, starting off with the good things of the physical design, I really like the way these charge. These have Qi wireless charging on the bottom, which means when you're traveling or whatever, you can just have the same wireless charger that charges your phone, and you can set these on there and they charge. It's a great feature to have. On top of that, on the back, we have USB Type-C, so if you prefer cable charging, you have that just as well. Now, the battery life on these, when you're talking about charging, like the battery life is pretty good actually. You're getting 6 hours per earbud and 18 total hours including the case. It's definitely not leading the pack, but that's more than enough for most use from my experience. Now, the next thing to talk about is actually kind of a pro and a con here. The way these open is something that I'm not really fond of. It doesn't give you a great user experience, but I understand why they did this. And this is the button on the front. So a lot of other earbuds have just a magnet there and you just kind of flip it open. It's really satisfying, really easy to do. And for the most part, it's secure and it works. But the problem with that is when you drop it, they always fling open and the earbuds fly all over the floor. And in some situations, that's a good way to lose your earbud. So now let's take a look at what's inside the case here. First of all, when you're pushing the button, you want to make sure you push it in the middle and far enough in because otherwise it doesn't open. And I find that, again, this is why I like magnets better. But looking at the earbuds, they're going to blink blue at first when they're trying to pair with your phone, and then once they're connected, they will both have the white LED showing. It's a very good indicator, and I like having that there. In the middle, we have a button. That button is going to allow you to pair with other devices. So if you press and hold that, you can connect to your laptop or your phone or whatever you're trying to set up. And then when we take the earbuds out, they're clearly pretty large earbuds. And we're going to talk more about the size of everything here in a second, but the earbuds are similar in size to the Sony earbuds, which I found were really uncomfortable, which gave me the concern here that I thought maybe these were going to fall out when I'm running, maybe they wouldn't be comfortable, but to my surprise, they fit really well and they're really comfortable. So we have 3 different silicone tips here, and each one has a different size silicone tip that goes in your ear and a different size silicone wing tip that holds it in your ear. And I find that combination, as long as you find the right size, it fits really well and it doesn't fall out. So I've gone for runs with these and they don't fall out. So you can see if I stick it in and I twist like that, you can shake your head as much as you want. And they don't fall out. Now, with that being said, if you're running and you're on mile like 5 or 6 and your whole head's really sweaty, like it's going to be harder for it to stay in and it might slide out a little bit, but there's not really a pair of earbuds that wouldn't do that. Now, speaking of sweat, however, the good thing about these earbuds is they are IPX4 water resistant, which means that if you're sweating or if it's rainy, you shouldn't have to worry about these taking on damage. The only difference in really what you'll notice from getting them wet is that the touch pads on the outside don't really work well if your hands are sweaty. Or if it's wet on the outside. And I love having touch pads on earbuds if it's done correctly, but I found that BOSE, for some reason, didn't give me all of the controls that I was really looking for. And so I'll talk about first what these can do, and then I'll talk about what they can't do. So see if you can identify them here. What they can do, first of all, is on the left side, if you double tap, it'll cycle through different levels of active noise cancellation, including a transparency mode, which is really nice. And then you can tap and hold, and that is going to skip to the next song. Now, on the right earbud, you can double tap, and that's going to play or pause, and that'll do something else, like it'll answer calls as well. And then if you tap and hold that, it'll summon your voice assistant. But unfortunately, that's it. And if you guys noticed from those 4 commands I said right there, one of them is actually customizable, but it only gives you one other option. None of them allow you to change your volume, and none of them allow you to skip to the previous song. All right, so now I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room, the size of these earbuds. I mean, this case is absolutely humongous. I've seen so many other earbud cases out there, and honestly, I gave the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s, I gave them a hard time about the case size because compared to the AirPods and the Galaxy Buds and like the Jabra Elite Active 75Ts, like they all have really, really tiny cases. The Sennheiser's was much larger, and I said, hey, it doesn't even fit in your tiny pocket. That's not good. The BOSE case here is absolutely massive. It's almost double the size of the Sennheiser case. And so, I mean, with that considered, I was hoping that you'd have a longer battery life on here or something that I really wanted them to do something with the large case to justify that massive size. But honestly, I'm not really seeing anything that makes that size worthwhile. It's housing some pretty large earbuds, but again, I wish the earbuds would just be maybe smaller as well. So that's certainly a drawback. I don't like the size of this. I think it kind of hinders the aesthetic a lot. The earbuds themselves, I'm a little bit less upset about the size because, I mean, they fit well, and as far as aesthetic goes, that's really going to be the only downside of having these large earbuds. And the aesthetics of them, I mean, they have a white pair and a black pair, and they both look pretty subtle. They're a nice little matte finish on there. So I don't think the aesthetics look that bad. They're just, I mean, the size, it would be nice if they were smaller. Actually, speaking of what these earbuds have, if we look at the inside, besides a silicone piece there, you also have a proximity sensor, which is a really nice feature to have. It'll detect when it's in or out of your ear, which is great for automatically answering phone calls or playing and pausing music automatically. On top of that, we have microphones, but the microphones are really only used on the right earbud because these are using a master-slave connection, which means you can never just listen to the left earbud. Actually, with that being said, we have a couple microphones on there, so let's jump into a microphone test now to see how good these actually sound. All right, so guys, this is a microphone test to see what they sound like indoors, again with the BOSE Quiet Comfort earbuds, so let me know how these sound, and we're going to head outside and see what they sound like there. And now for reference, these are the Galaxy Buds Plus, just to see what the microphone sounds like in comparison here. Generally, the Galaxy Buds Plus are considered to have a really good microphone for earbuds. All right, now this is what these earbuds sound like when I'm in a loud environment. So there's obviously a road behind me, plenty of traffic, plenty of noise there. So comment down below and let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. All right, so now getting into an analysis of the sound quality and the ANC. Starting off the ANC, I think it actually does exceptionally well when it's windy outside, which is surprising. I know a lot of other earbuds, if it's windy, they start kind of feeding back and giving us like a really loud hissing sound on the inside, and that's definitely a drawback. But these, I think, did an excellent job. They blocked out the wind and they blocked out everything else around you. So in every environment, I was very impressed with the ANC for these. Now, it is actually very powerful and has a really clean cut, and I think the ANC overall, it didn't seem to hinder the audio quality from my testing, and I think it just was really comfortable. It didn't give you too much pressure feeling inside your ear, and with 10 different levels, it was easy to adapt to whatever environment you're in. So if you were on a really loud jet, I cranked that all the way up at level 10. I mean, it cuts out just about everything. The other thing that these do that I wish every other pair of ANC earbuds did, and so far the only other pair I know that does it, is the AirPods. And that's when you put one earbud in, it has transparency mode on, because honestly, when you take one out, you're probably listening to somebody. And when you put both in, it starts with transparency mode, and then it kicks in with ANC. So having that difference right there gives people the perceived like relief from the outside world. And I think it's just a really nice thing to have. So you put them both in, you hear transparency, and then within like a second or half a second, it just crushes everything around you. It just makes it so much more obvious how much the ANC is actually doing. So I think that's a cool feature to have. Good job for BOSE to do that. Now let's actually get into some testing, and I'll show you side by side. It's by no means a perfect test, but side by side should give you a relative idea of how powerful the ANC is compared to some other competitors. All right, so what I'm going to do is just play some sound on my laptop. It's the sound of a jet, and I'm going to turn the volume up until I can hear it. Starting off with the AirPods Pro. So if we turn this up, it looks like I start to hear it at around volume 26. Now with the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s, I can turn it up and we don't hear the jet until probably around, so it looks like about 28 to 30, somewhere between 28 and 30. And now here with the BOSE Quiet Comfort Buds, we turn it up until around volume 25 or 26. Now keep in mind, we only tested one frequency here, the sound of a jet, which is really where I would be using ANC. And in this situation, they're still doing an excellent job, about on par with the AirPods. Maybe the AirPods were slightly better, but regardless, they're doing a great job with ANC. And then talking about the actual sound quality itself, the first thing I want to mention is that there actually is no EQ in the app. Now, I thought this was going to be a big drawback, and for some people it may be, but I found that listening to a bunch of different types of music, these were naturally very well balanced, and I was very happy with the overall EQ that's already built in on these earbuds. So I had no need to really change that. I know some people, if you listen to some really bass heavy stuff, maybe you would want to crank up the bass and make it more of an unnatural profile there, and you can't do that with these. But for just about anybody else, I think you're going to be pretty happy with the profile on these. But I mean, given the price point, I wish they would give you an EQ in the app. Now, talking about the sound quality itself, I found that overall, like I said, clean and balanced, overall a really pleasant experience when you're listening to just about every genre out there. It was able to hit bass lines like very smooth and accurate. It's not the most powerful seismic bass out there, but like I said, it's going to be sounding pretty accurate and pretty realistic when you're listening to a lot of different studio recordings. If you're listening to something like the bass line on Yonkers from Tyler, the Creator, then you might notice that it's still hitting the low notes. It's not going to be shaking your head as much. So, I mean, that's just kind of a preference thing right there for what you're listening to. Now, because these are kind of expensive, they're like $280, we have to compare them at the highest level with a lot of the other best earbuds out there. And so I kind of had to compare these to the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s, which in my opinion have kind of been something of the gold standard for sound quality. And in comparison, I noticed that even though the BOSE earbuds sounded really good, I noticed that they were lacking a little bit of low-level detail. So on songs, I mean, I have a playlist on Spotify, I'll link it below. The first song on there is by the Fleet Foxes, and I chose it because it's a very acoustic song that's kind of like a little bit, it's easy to get really mushy together without perfect earbuds. And I found that these kind of start to mush things together a little bit. So I found that the hi-hats are a little bit less sharp, and on top of that, the guitar strings sometimes start to blend together a little bit. So the clarity is definitely not perfect on these, and I really noticed that because I have a tendency to start turning the volume up when I have earbuds with slightly less clarity because I'm looking for those details. And I found that with these, I end up turning the volume up a lot. So it's definitely something I noticed with these. Also, in comparison to the Sennheiser buds, I found that these are slightly less warm and full and slightly less vibrant. And so I think the combination of the clarity and the warmth gives you that vibrant tone in a lot of the music. And so while these still sound really good and pretty vibrant, I think in comparison directly to those Sennheiser buds, I still prefer the Sennheiser buds for sound quality, but these are definitely up there, and overall the sound quality was still very impressive. I think a lot of people, especially non-audiophiles, are going to absolutely love these earbuds. They get really loud, and like I said, the balance on them is pretty natural, and it sounds good. So the last thing I want to show you guys in this video is actually the app you'll be using with these earbuds. It's the BOSE Music app, and you can see right here, you just tap on your earbuds, and it's honestly pretty nice. I like this app. So you can go and adjust the volume right here with the slider. You can adjust the noise cancellation, the active noise cancellation. And if you go to favorites, that's what I was saying before, how you can save 3 different favorite levels that if you double tap the left earbud, it'll kind of toggle between them. So we have favorite 3 is going to be absolutely no noise cancellation, and it goes up to favorite 1, which is going to be at 10. So I think that's really nice that it has that. Other than that, there's not a whole lot you're going to do on here. You can go and change things like your shortcut. Like I said, you either hear the battery level, which I think is useless, or you can skip forward. That's the only thing you can customize with touch controls. And other than that, there's not a whole lot you'll be doing in the app. All right, guys, so that's been it for the BOSE Quiet Comfort earbuds. Overall, I mean, I'm gonna keep things real with you guys. If you buy these, you're gonna be very happy with them. They have excellent active noise cancellation. They have Qi wireless charging, really comfortable, and those 10 different levels of ANC is really nice to have. But other than that, are these the best premium wireless earbuds out there? Well, I made a comparison before these came out, and in that comparison, the Sennheiser Momentum True Wireless 2s were among the top in that list. And I think when you're looking at these head-to-head, I think the Sennheisers are still my favorite pair of premium true wireless earbuds. So, I mean, with that being said, guys, like I said, if you buy them, you're gonna love these earbuds, but I'm trying to keep things real. I would maybe buy the Sennheisers instead. They're a little more expensive, but you're getting a smaller case and you're getting, in my opinion, better sound quality. But let me know in the comments down below which one you guys think is better and why. Let me know what you liked about either of these earbuds. And if you liked this video, consider going down and liking and subscribing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.